Coming up on the Charge on Air. Roller coaster time. We take a look at why Orlando is the go-to destination when it comes to theme parks.
And a setback for the mission to the moon, a major delay to NASA's Artemis program.
Gamers and musicians together? How the video game ensemble brought together both groups with their soundtracks.
In sports, tennis continues to show its prowess in the asphalt. Find out how both teams are dominating the competition.
Don't go anywhere. The Charge on Air starts right now. Good afternoon and welcome to the Charge on Air. I'm John Warner.
And I'm Shane Winsten. Today is Friday, February 27th, 2026. We have some breaking news on our Space Coast. NASA is restructuring the Artemis program to allow for more frequent launches. The move comes after NASA was forced to roll back the SLS rocket for more repairs. The Artemis 2 mission is now delayed until at least April. The Artemis 3 mission will no longer land on the moon. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman says this will allow crews to get more practice in between launches.
We didn't go right to Apollo 11, right? We had a whole Mercury program, Gemini, Apollo, lots of Apollo missions before we ultimately landed. Right now, our program is essentially set up with an Apollo 8 and then going right to the moon. And that is again, not a pathway to success.
Artemis 3 is now targeting next year. The good news is NASA could send multiple crewed missions to the moon in 2028. Stay with the Charge News for more breaking updates.
President Trump delivered his first true State of the Union address of his second term on Tuesday. President Trump says he is pleased with his enforcement of immigration laws. He says the country has not let in any illegal immigrants in 9 months. Trump also mentioned military efforts to stop drugs from entering the country. He says that record amounts of drugs have virtually stopped entering by water. UCF political science professor Dr. Aubrey Jewett says that despite these efforts, the public has not necessarily approved of the immigration efforts.
Probably most importantly, moderates/independents, according to the public opinion polls, have really turned against him. A fairly strong majority do not approve of the way that the president is approaching cracking down on immigration.
During the address, both parties expressed their frustrations with one another. President Trump continues his strong enforcement on immigration, while the Department of Homeland Security is currently undergoing a shutdown.
Discord announced they will delay their age verification policy because of backlash from users. Their CTO says they messed up and they are listening to their users. The new policy could have required facial scans and other methods to determine a user's age group. UCF senior Samuel Estefanos says this policy aimed at protecting teens set off major red flags.
So it definitely raised an alarm where it felt like they just wanted your data, they wanted to use your data essentially to sell, because there was basically no need to verify everyone's age on the platform.
Estefanos says one of his major concerns is the fact the company just had a data breach last year. He says he will continue using the platform without the age verification when it becomes mandatory.
The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is continuing to investigate a deputy-involved shooting that occurred just a few miles from campus. The Orange County Sheriff's Office says deputies were called to the Walmart off East Colonial Drive Sunday evening for a man with a knife stealing a shopping cart and other items. Deputies say they approached 48-year-old Jason Beal outside of Walmart. Officials say deputies gave Beal multiple commands to stop, but he did not listen. That deputy then fired his taser, but it did not impact Beal. Officials say deputies can be heard telling Beal multiple times, quote, "Don't reach for it." The deputy then opened fire, striking Beal. Dr. Christopher Merrier, a UCF assistant professor of criminal justice, explains just how common uses of force like this are.
Police-citizen encounters involve any use of force. And that's out of, I believe, something like 17 million interactions across the United States in any given year. The number of those that involve deadly force are obviously just a fraction of that.
Beal is charged with robbery with a deadly weapon and resisting an officer with violence. This was one of 2 deputy-involved shootings within a week at Central Florida Walmarts.
After months of debate, the UCF Board of Trustees approved changes to the union staff contracts. Trustees voted to amend an existing agreement with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees spanning from 2023 to 2026. According to the BOT materials, the trustees and organization agreed to award one-time bonuses between $1,000 and $1,500 to staff employees. The union originally asked for an annual pay increase. The president of the Professors Union expressed frustration with current faculty pay during public comments.
5 years, this will be the 3rd time that we, the hardworking and talented faculty and staff at UCF, have received a 0% raise.
Rahman also added that the university should be more transparent and should find a way to secure additional salary increases for staff. The UCF Board of Trustees will meet again in April.
UCF could soon see a major shift in campus security after a key vote in Tallahassee. The Florida House passed the Armor Act, also known as House Bill 757, which would expand the state's Guardian program to public universities. The bill would allow UCF to train and arm select faculty and staff members to respond to active threats. UCF professor Eugene Pauline says he isn't opposed to having Guardians on campus, but worries about the implementation of the program.
I'm less concerned about people shooting up campus as a result of this bill. I'm more concerned with the lack of coordination that would occur between the local police and these folks.
The proposal now heads to the Florida Senate. The new security measures and increased penalties would take effect this October if they are signed into law. Of course, we'll keep you updated on any new developments.
The UCF Police Department is continuing outreach efforts with students. UCF Police collaborated with the UCF Black Student Caucus to host an open forum in the Key West Ballroom on Wednesday. Multiple senior members of the police force answered questions on multiple topics, including emergency campus threats and self-defense. UCF student Dane Smith says the open forum gave students the chance to go over their concerns.
And they addressed them here today. Some of the importance of this event was we had a threat back in September and we were a little concerned about it, and we know students were concerned, and we wanted to reach out to PD just to make sure that these concerns are squashed, to have an open forum of dialogue between students and the police.
UCF Victim Services also presented at the event. The UCF Black Caucus is planning to host similar discussions in the future.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but this up and down weather has been going on for too long.
Let's bring in student weather reporter Isaac Abdelmessih. And Isaac, what's going on out there?
So yeah, guys, I mean, we've seen that the weather has started off cold this week, and now it's really hot. It's going to get really humid and now rainy. So right now, if we take a look at today's forecast, it's about 76 degrees out right now with wind that's at about 9 miles an hour moving south-southwest. However, what we are seeing is a 72% amount of humidity right now and a chance of rain at 85%, which will lead us into spring pretty soon, and it's going to start feeling like a really hot, humid summer once again here in Central Florida.
Thank you so much, Isaac. We'll talk to you a little bit more later, but coming up, find out how Orlando is still the #1 home for creative design and themed experiences.
Plus, a new roller coaster is inspiring the next generation of rocket designers.
There are 625 different combinations. So essentially, you could ride the ride every day for almost 2 years and have a unique experience.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains.
There's no sparks.
But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy. It's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is being prepared for the journey ahead. Love doesn't let any concerns go unsaid. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax. It always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects.
Galactic Coaster is officially opened at Legoland, Florida. I had a chance to experience the cosmic adventure, hoping to inspire the next generation of engineers. Get ready to blast off on an out-of-this-world coaster. Galactic Coaster is now officially open at Legoland Resort, Florida.
We've been asking our guests for years what they want to see more of, and Lego Space was the dominant winner in that question. So we created this Lego Galaxy for our guests.
The ride is the first new coaster at the resort in 15 years. With speeds reaching up to 40 miles per hour and a rotating base, the ride's thrills targets an older audience. By my reaction, you can tell the launches give quite a punch.
And this is a giant leap for Legoland Florida Resort. We're geared towards families with children ages 2 to 12. We're known for having pink knuckle roller coasters where they're excited enough, but not enough to turn white, but just enough to give you the thrill of a ride.
The story is straight out of a Lego commercial. The, quote, asteroid of probable destruction is on its way towards Earth, and it's up to guests, alongside Chief Engineer Biff Dipper, to design and navigate a spaceship to try and destroy the asteroid.
You want to go out into space. You want to know that you can build something that would bring you into space and inspire you for space. And it's really that STEM technology.
Legoland says the interactivity is designed to inspire the next generation of building, whether that's rockets made of Legos or steel.
My portfolio, when I applied to be a master builder almost 17 years ago, was full of Lego spaceships. It was a pretty narrow window of things that I was interested in and building at the time. And it turns out 17 years later, I've come full circle. Now we get to build and play with the very models that I had in my portfolio back in the day.
Outside of the ride, there's a play area for younger guests. There's also interactive build tables and meet and greets.
This is really the next leap, and I think that guests who have been here before are going to experience something again and again different every 6 months they come back.
Wood says it is surreal to see the years of hard work paying off.
We've been working on it for a long time, over 3 years. A lot of teams and a lot of people all across Merlin Entertainments and the Legoland Resorts, and so playing a small part in that is just so fulfilling.
In Winter Haven, Shane Winsten, The Charge on Air. A version of Galactic Coaster is set to open next month in Legoland, California. Officials say the two attractions had a combined budget of $90 million.
Universal is also keeping the public on their toes. Their announcements are continuing to make global headlines. Charge on Air reporter Luis Perez tells us how Universal brings opportunities to UCF creative designers.
Universal is continuing to break barriers, bringing to life the mega franchises after the success of Super Nintendo World. Universal is leveling up again with plans to bring the world's highest grossing franchise Pokemon to parks across the globe. Adora English is a current UCF instructor for theme experiences that worked for Universal Creative for 6 years and says new innovations are critical for a park's growth.
As I tell my students all the time, in order to have people interested, you have to stay interesting. So you have to keep the parks, like fresh, shiny pennies. If big tech getting involved in all of these partnerships, it allows for more opportunity.
English says major expansions take years before they're able to come into fruition. The Theme Experiences program here at UCF gives students the opportunity to learn what creative designing is in the epicenter for this industry. Through the opening of Epic Universe, Theme Experiences graduates work on the behind the scenes for the park with designs for rides, visuals, and more. Peter Weisar is the founder of Theme Experiences and says there is no better place to learn about creative design and theme experiences than here in Orlando.
Well, you want to be a designer, you go to New York City. You want to be a filmmaker, you go to LA. You want to design theme parks and themed experiences, you come to Orlando. a good deal of the design and production of themed attractions happens right here in Orlando.
Weiser says that when Universal was gearing up for Epic Universe, 40% of the graduates from the program were hired. In Orlando, Luis Perez, The Charge on Air.
Universal's next Orlando expansion is set to be a high-speed drifting roller coaster themed to the Fast and Furious franchise. Universal says there are planning expansions in all 4 of the Orlando parks.
UCF students are celebrating their love for video games and music. Geek Night Spring 2026 wrapped up on Thursday with a live performance from the Video Game Music Ensemble Club. The student-run group performed live renditions of iconic video game soundtracks. The atmosphere fostered a sense of nostalgia, bringing gamers and music lovers together under one roof. Club president Sydney Rude says the group prepares daily for their performances.
Because all of our pieces are student arranged as well, and so they take a lot of time because we're all putting all these different parts together. We have like 40 different parts of like instruments. 40 might be a stretch, but you know, a lot of percussion.
The performance marked the main event of the evening, racking up Geek Night with a memorable act. The club says they hope students went home with tunes playing in their head.
Now, we've seen that the theme parks are expanding, but what about the heat?
Yeah, your wishes aren't always granted. Stay tuned as we find out if you'll need the umbrellas to make an appearance for the weekend.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad! Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Nice.
Temperatures took a dip to start the week, but we seem to be back having the sun out and the heat's turned up. Let's check in with student meteorologist Dominic Papalo from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University for a look at the national forecast.
It's a tale of two temperatures across the nation. In the Northeast, where they had the historic blizzard last weekend, they're going to be starting off the weekend with another day of below average temperatures, and closer to the west and the rest of the nation, they're going to be having another day of above average temperatures across this whole area of the nation. And really in the Midwest, they're going to be seeing a day where temperatures could be above average up to 20 degrees. So cities like Kansas City, Omaha, and Minneapolis, they're going to have a really warm and dry day. And many areas across our nation, including that area, are under some level of drought, and even closer to home, areas of severe and extreme drought within areas of Florida. But we're going to have a little relief heading into the weekend because of a cold front that's going to move in tonight, bringing some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the southeast. And for more on what we can see closer to home, back to you at UCF.
Yeah, that cold to start the week really threw us off, but now it seems like it's warmed up nicely.
Definitely pleasant weather to go outside to as long as the rain holds off. Let's check in with student weather anchor Isaac Abdelmessih to see this week's upcoming forecast. Isaac?
Well, yeah, guys, as Dominic at Embry-Riddle said, we are going to see some scattered thunderstorms and some rain this week. So as you can see to my left here on our map of the local area, 74 in Gainesville, 76 up in the Palm Coast just north of Daytona. Down here in Orlando for the nights, it is 76 as well. 75 to the west in Leesburg, down in Tampa, 76. Where Shane was just yesterday at Galactic Coaster in Winter Haven, it is 76 as well, but you're going to need that umbrella if you go to Legoland. And then on the Space Coast, we're also seeing 76 degrees as well. And now let's take a look at this week's 5-day forecast. So as you can see for tomorrow, Saturday, it will be a high of 74 degrees with a low of 58, but you are going to see a 95% chance of rain, something that we have not seen in the last couple months. Sunday, it's going to go up to about 76 with still about a low of 57 with no rain in sight. And then Monday through Wednesday, still, we're not going to see any rain, but the highs will be in the higher 70s, while the lows will range between 57 and 61 degrees. But like Shane and Dominic said, hang on to those umbrellas, Central Florida, because it is going to be stormy. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Isaac. Coming up in sports, how men's tennis continue their undefeated run at home.
Plus, break out the brooms, how UCF softball started the Charge On Classic with a sweep.
The field, just a competitive mindset is what you want. So going out there, attacking the zone, and trusting my defense is always the plan.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there.
Bring it.
Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, how about some one-on-one? I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
UCF right now.
Good afternoon, Knights. Hope you're staying tuned into UCF Athletics. My name is Diego Ortiz, and I'm here to bring you the latest on UCF sports. The UCF softball team continued its hot start yesterday by sweeping Dartmouth to kick off the Charge On Classic. Game 1 in the doubleheader ended 8-0 in favor of the Knights, who scored in 4 of the first 5 innings. Junior infielder Sierra Humphreys recorded 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Game 2 saw an early surge again, with UCF plating 4 runs in the first inning, and UCF scored 3 home runs in the game, courtesy of sophomore utility players Izzy Mertez and Kendall Yarnell, and sophomore catcher Beth Damon. Redshirt junior pitcher Macy Miles is a veteran presence on the team, who gains her confidence from her defense behind her.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you're on the field, just a competitive mindset is what you want. So going out there, attacking the zone, and trusting my defense is always the plan.
UCF earned victories number 897 and 898 and will have the opportunity to reach a massive program milestone with win number 900 tonight. The Knights will host Wagner in just a couple hours at 4:30 and Florida A&M at 7 p.m. with conference play starting a week from today. Women's basketball came up short on senior night against West Virginia. The Knights came out hot to start the game, taking an early lead into the half. West Virginia was able to apply the pressure to start the third quarter, taking a commanding lead entering the fourth, ultimately hanging on to hand UCF their 18th loss of the season. Head coach Tatia Messer says the seniors meant so much to the squad.
Man, they've been two players that we have depended on throughout the season. So, we're sad that this is their last home game. They've been great. I wish I could have had them earlier.
The Knights will take on Houston Sunday to close out the season before entering the Big 12 tournament. UCF men's soccer continues their spring schedule with a match on the road against Jacksonville University. UCF, the reigning Sun Belt champions, made additions to their roster from the transfer portal. The Knights will only play 6 games on the spring as they look to defend their conference title this fall. Last season against Jacksonville, the Knights came out victorious 2-0 with saves from goalkeeper Juan V. Munoz and 2 goals from defender Jem Hewlett. The Knights will look to repeat those results and build some chemistry to hit the ground running this fall. Game, set, match. The UCF men's tennis team shut out the FAU Owls 7-0 yesterday afternoon. The Knights served up a huge win at the USTA National Campus amidst breezy, hot Orlando weather. Though UCF dropped one of its 3 doubles matches in the early half of the day, the Knights did go on to win all 6 of their singles matches. UCF senior Medib Benchakroon highlighted Thursday's matches after he defeated FAU junior Mark Havlicek 7-6 and 6-4 in a tightly contested draw. The Knights will now get ready to travel to Tampa to take on the USF Bulls on March 4th.
And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us today, Knights. As always, you can follow us throughout the week on thechargenews.com.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day, Knights.